right. Okay, so for our do now today, we've got 4 different problems that we're solving for n. Let's start by looking at number 1. We have 2 times n minus 3, and all of that is divided by 4, and that is equal to 26. Who knows what my first step might be for this one? Yeah, we want to get rid of that division problem where we have 4 dividing this whole portion of the equation. So we're going to take this whole side times 4 to cancel it out. And what else do I need to do?
Times 4 over by 26.
Yes. Remember, whatever I do to one side of my equation, I have to do to the other side as well. So my 4's will cancel. And what am I left with?
2n minus 3 equals 104.
Yeah, 26 times 4, 104. Good. Did everybody get to this point so far?
I did it again.
You did it again. That's all right.
I know what I did. I did it again.
We just forgot to keep our equation balanced. Okay, so now we have a brand new equation. 2 times n minus 3 equals 104. What do we do next?
2n plus 3.
Yes, we want to get rid of the minus 3, so we will do plus 3. And where else do I need to do plus 3?
Under 100.
Yes, under 104. We got to keep our equations equal on both sides. All right. What's next?
Bring down the 2n.
Minus 2n. And then
I'm sorry, not minus.
that's okay.
2n equals
Good. 2n equals
107.
107. And one last step.
We're going to divide.
Yes. To get rid of 2 times n, we'll divide by 2. Those will cancel. And I'm left with n equals, let's see.
53.5.
Sounds about right to me, 53.5. All right. How's everybody feel about number 1? That's all right. That's all right. We're practicing, guys. Any questions about number 1 before we try 2? Okay, let's try number 2. We have 4 times n plus 2. All of that divided by 3 is equal to 6. What do we do first?
Multiply 3.
Yes, we want to get rid of this division problem, so we are going to multiply the whole side by 3. And what else are we going to do?
Multiply 3.
Yes, we got to do the same thing at both sides for every step. So my 3's cancel out. I'm left with 4n plus 2 on this side equals, and what's 6 times 3? You said 18?
Yes.
Perfect. All right. What's next?
We're going to subtract 2.
Good. We're going to subtract 2, both sides. My 2's are going to cancel. On this side, I'm left with 4 times n equals, what is 18 minus 2? 16. Good. All right, what's my last step?
You're going to divide 4.
Perfect. We're going to divide by 4 to get rid of the multiplication problem. So we are left with n equals what?
4.
4. All right, did everybody get that one?
Yep.
Awesome. Any questions about 2 before we try 3? Okay, let's move on then. Number 3 is a different type of problem. I have 2 times the quantity of 5n minus 1, and that is equal to 23. We have 2 options for a starting point here. What are those 2 things that I could do?
Distribute.
Yeah, we could distribute the 2 into 5n minus 1, or we could divide it all by 2. Which one do you guys want to try?
I'll give it. I multiplied.
Okay, we multiply. Did you do the same thing?
That's stuck in my head.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's two.
so we got a majority distributing. Let's do that. I ran out of room to do it above, so I'm going to do it below here. So I'm doing 2 times 5n. What's that going to give me?
10
10n. Good. Minus 2 times 1.
in.
2. All right, we're done with that. So we're going to bring down the rest, equals 23. Where do we go from here?
Positive 2.
Yes, we want to get rid of minus 2, so we're going to add 2 to both sides. Okay, my 2's are going to cancel. What am I left with now?
10
10n equals 25. Good. All right, last step. What do we do? Perfect. We're going to divide by 10 on each side. So our 10's cancel out. We're left with n equals, what is 25 divided by 10? 2.5.
5 divided by 2.
Yep, and then the other way, if you had divided, here, I'll write that option out as well. No, it's all right. Whenever I solve these, if distribution is more comfortable, do it. It will work every
I
time.
asked you about the division. I don't know if I was here.
You might not have been, so let's go over it. The division option, if it confuses you, you don't have to use it, but it is a little faster. And there's a few less steps. So I'm going to rewrite the equation and show you the division option. And I'll do that for number 4 as well. So remember, we know that if I see a number outside of something in parentheses, this is really just a multiplication problem. I'm just doing 2 times whatever this is. So how do we get rid of multiplication? With division. So instead of distributing and doing 2 multiplication problems in here, I could just divide this whole thing by 2 on both sides. And my 2's would cancel out. And that would leave me with 5 times n minus 1 on this side is equal to, and then 23 divided by 2, is that 11.5? I don't know, let me
Yeah,
do.
11.
It is, okay, 11.5. All right, so Lisa, I know you did this method. Did you get this so far?
My calculator broke.
Oh no. Okay, let's finish working this out and I'll look at your calculator.
It's just saying 2 divided by, or 23 divided by 2.
Yeah, it's still in fraction form. We'll have to see if there's a way to change it. Okay, now we have a new equation. 5 times n minus 1 equals 11.5. What should we do next? Plus 1. Let's do that. Get rid of the 1. Both sides. My 1's cancel out. And then I'm left with 5 times n is equal to, and 11.5 plus 1, that's just going to be 12.5. All right. Now what do we do? Yeah, we're going to divide by 5 on both sides. So my 5's cancel. I'm left with n equals, and 12.5 divided by 5 is 2.5. You will get the same answer.
Ding, 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 ding in my head. I just now realized you used the red.
Uh-huh.
I need to just kicked into my head. It's like, you put that line up, it's like the other way you showed it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, just now kicked into
No,
my
I
brain.
love that.
Yeah.
Good. I'm so glad
It
it's
just
clicking.
kicked into my brain, yeah.
Good, good. Oh, that makes me happy. I love it. That's my goal. Okay, so now that we've tried both methods, let's move on to our last problem, number 4. Which way do we want to try first? The distribution way? Is that what you guys did?
I did the
Okay, let's do that first just to keep everything in the same order, and then we'll do the division way next. So if you were distributing 6 into 3n plus 2, we would draw our arrows. And what is 6 times 3n?
18.
Good. 18n plus, what's 6 times 2? 12. And then we just bring down our equals 24. All right, what's next?
We're gonna subtract 12.
Yes, subtract 12 from both sides. My 12s are going to cancel out. So I'm left with 18 times n equals 24 minus 12 is 12. All right, last step. What do we do?
18 divided.
Yeah, we're going to divide by 18 on both sides. And that's going to leave us with n is equal to, what's 12 divided by 18?
It was 0 point, a lot of 6, then a 7 at the end.
Okay, let's
But
see.
you round it up, we round it up.
So 12 divided by 18. Yep, so it's 0.6 repeating.
Right.
And they just rounded up the last 6 to a 7 there. So we've got a couple of options. We could just put 0.6,
Okay.
or you could put 0.7. I'm not going to count either wrong. Or,
Both ways, just to
Yeah.
make-
yes, both of them all count correctly.
It's gonna be right.
Yeah, and then the other option is like Lisa, if we can't figure out your calculator, if you put it as a fraction, I would count that right too. And as a fraction, this would be 2/3, I believe. Is that what your calculator gave you, Lisa?
Yeah.
Good deal. So if you put that, I would take it as well. Okay, let's try the division method for number 4.
Can I ask you a dumb question?
Ask.
Okay. When you divide, you always do the top number first, even though it's smaller. The 12 divided by 18.
Yes.
And 8, whatever, you always do whatever's at the top.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. So you type in 12 first,
Always.
divided by, then
Okay,
18.
even though
Always.
It just don't look right, but still you always.
Yeah, yeah. And you know what? That's not a dumb question at all. I appreciate you asking. Okay, so we're going to rewrite this problem. 6 times 3n plus 2 equals 24. And you know what? I don't think red was the best choice for an orange paper. Or can you guys see it okay?
Yeah.
Okay, if you can see it, I'll stay with it.
Yeah.
Okay, so what would my first step be if I didn't want to distribute?
6 times 6.
So we have 6 times here. What do we do to get rid of multiplication?
Divide.
We divide, yeah. So I'm going to divide this side by 6, and what else do I need to do? Yeah, I need to do the same thing to both sides of the equation. That equal sign tells me which side of the equation is which. So if I do something over here, I got to do it over there as well.
Yeah, I got confused.
That's all right. Okay, so what happens with our 6s? They cancel out. So I'm left with 3 times n plus 2 is equal to, what's 24 divided by 6?
4.
4. Good deal. All right, what's our next step? We have 3n plus 2 equals 4.
Subtract 2 from the only 7.
Yeah, to get rid of plus 2, we're going to do minus 2 on both sides. Our 2's are going to cancel out. So we're left with 3 times n is equal to, what's 4 minus 2?
2.
2. All right, last step. 3 times n, how do we get n by itself?
Multiply. I mean divide.
Divide, good, good. All right, my 3's are gonna cancel out, and we will get n equals, and again, I'll accept any of these answers, either 2/3 or 0.6 or 0.7. Any of these I'm okay with. Why you want one?
My calculator,
All right, Lisa, we're gonna pause this. I'm gonna mess with it.
You can just throw.
Okay guys, so we are going to transition now. We just finished our do now problems, so I'm going to give you a little outline of the topics we're going to discuss today. So at some point we'll just do a little overview, or kind of just a review of everything we've learned so far in Unit 2 with equation. Everything, Unit 2. And we are going to introduce one last type of equation. Okay, so we have talked about one-step equations, we've talked about two-step equations, now we've done all sorts of multi-step equations. The only thing that we have left to discuss is if we had an equation, for example, with our variable n on both sides of the equal sign. We always are working right now with equations that have the variable only on one side, but what if I had something like this? Let me find a good one. How about 6 times n minus 4 equals -3 plus 8 times n. Okay. So, if I have an equation where I have variables on both sides, there's a couple things that we need to do. First of all, the order in which we solve this, it doesn't really change. But remember, our goal is always to get the variable by itself. So we can't get this by itself if it's on both sides. So let me write this. Variable needs to be by itself. So in order to get rid of all the numbers around the variable, first let's just do what we would normally do. Let's choose which side of the equation we want to work with first. Why don't we just go left to right? So I have 6 times n minus 4. What do you think you would want to do here? Yeah, we would want to just add 4. So I'm going to write plus 4. And then remember, this equal sign tells us how we separate the sides of our equation. So if I add 4 on this side, I need to do the same thing on the other side. Now, here's where it gets the tiniest bit tricky. Whenever I'm adding 4, now when I go to the next side of my equation, I need to pay attention to what I can add 4 to. So my options are -3 and 8n. So I'm going to give you a hint. I want you guys to remember back to Unit 1 when we were combining like terms. So first of all, does -4, or now plus 4, does this have a variable attached to it? No, it doesn't. So can I add it to something that does have a variable? I could add it, but it won't change the number because this number 4 and 8n, these are not like terms. What about the -3? Does this have a variable? No. And so the 4 and the -3, those are like terms. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add 4 under the -3. So my 4's on the first side are going to cancel. And let's bring down what we've got left. Now I have 6 times n, and we got rid of minus 4, so I'll just write equals. Now we'll work out what we have left. What is negative 3 plus 4?
7. Oh, no, you subtract the negative.
So remember, when you add a negative, it's like subtracting. So really what I'm doing here is 4 take away 3. And Lisa, you said it 1. Perfect. So I've got 6 times n is equal to 1. And I still have plus 8n over here. So I've got to bring that down also. Okay. So now I have 6 times n equals 1 plus 8 times n. Anybody have ideas about what we could do next? I know, this is...
Something with that 1.
We could do something with the 1, but let's think about our options before we actually go through with it. If I did minus 1, it's okay. If I did minus 1 to get rid of this plus 1, then the 1's would cancel here, and I would do negative 1 over here, or minus 1 over here. Now, 1 and 6n are not like terms, so then I would just be left with 6n minus 1 equals 8n. So did that help us? Didn't help us very much. So we know that we probably aren't going to do much with that 1 yet. We need to do something to combine these. We cannot solve an equation if we have our variable on both sides. So before we can get to our goal of getting the variable by itself, we actually need to first get our variables all on the same side. So what I'm going to look at to decide where I want to put it, first of all, I'm going to think, okay, so on this side of the equation, I already have just a 6n, and on this side, I have 8n and I have a 1. So if I wanted to do the least work to get to my answer, I'm going to leave my 6n alone, and I'm going to get rid of the 8n and bring it over here, because I want all my variables on one side and I want my non-variables on the other side. So how about we try subtracting 8n? So we need to get all of our variables combined before we can start separating everything and doing our division. So 8n minus 8n, that's going to cancel out. Good. That's gone. Now I have 6n minus 8n. What would that give me? Negative 2n. So remember, when we are adding and subtracting like terms, like these, don't even worry about the n. I'm just doing 6 minus 8. That's it. And then, after I get the answer of 6 minus 8, which is negative 2, I just need to remember to keep the n on the end of that number. So 6 minus 8 is negative 2n. All right. So now I have negative 2n, and I just need to bring down what's left, which is going to be equal to 1. Now we have a problem that looks a little more familiar. Okay, so I have negative 2 times n equals 1. What could I do to get n by itself?
Divide that.
Yes, we want to divide by negative 2. Divide by negative 2. My negative 2's will cancel out, and then I'm finally left with n is equal to negative 0.5, or you could just keep it as negative 1/2. All right, I'm going to show you a few more examples before I have you guys try to do this on your own. But there's our first example. And then today we'll try to write out a little guide to help us know which step to do when we have problems like this. All right, I'm gonna move on. Does anybody still need this?
No.
Okay, perfect. We are now on page 3 of day 19. So let's do another example just like that. What if I had 7 times n minus 8 equals negative 2 plus 8 times n? Okay, so what's something I could do first?
8. Add 8.
Yeah, we could go ahead and get rid of that minus 8. Let's start by adding 8. And where else do I add 8? Under the negative 2. Oh, this one's tricky because I know that I see there's an 8 here, and this is 8n, so we might think, oh, they're both 8s, I can combine them. I can't. Remember, we can only add a number with a variable on it to another number with a variable on it. 8 does not have any variable. It's just 8. So the only option I have on the other side of my equation is that negative 2 because it's by itself. 8 and negative 2 are like terms. Okay, so I did plus 8 there. Here's my equation separated. Let's do plus 8 under the negative 2. What's going to happen next? My 8s will cancel.
And then 2 plus, 2 subtract 8.
Yeah, so I've got negative 2 plus 8. That's the same thing as 8 minus 2. 6. So I've got 6. And what all do I need to bring down? I've got 7n equals plus 8n. All right. Now I have 7n equals 6 plus 8n. I need now to get my variable terms, the 7n and the 8n, I need them to be on the same side of the equal sign. So, which one of these, 7n or 8n, which one do you think would be more productive to move over?
8n.
Yeah, we want to do 8n because my end goal is to have something n equals a number by itself. And if I got 7n and brought it over here, then I would have 0 equals 6 plus whatever that is. So we want to get rid of 8n. So let's do that. All right, what's going to happen with my 8n's?
Cancel.
They sure do. They cancel out. I'll bring down my 6 equals, and what is 7 take away 8?
Negative 1.
Yeah, now we have negative 1n. All right, what's our last step?
Divide negative 1.
Yes, we want to divide by negative 1 on both sides. And the negative 1's cancel, which leaves us with n by itself is equal to 6 divided by negative 1 is
Negative 6.
-6. So remember, any number, if you multiply it by itself, or if you divide it, or not by itself, sorry. If you multiply it or divide it by 1, you'll get itself. You'll get its same number. And if you multiply or divide a positive by a negative, it turns it into a negative. So all we did there is we put that negative on the 6.
Any number divided or by itself is always the same.
Yes, so if I have 6 divided by 1, it'll be 6. If I have 2 million divided by 1, it'll be 2 million. Okay. Let's do some more like that. Let me use my little problem generator over here. I'm trying to get problems that are not going to give us fractions or decimals. Okay, let's do 3n plus 5 is equal to 1 plus 7n. All right, what do we want to do first?
Subtract 5.
Okay, sure, let's subtract 5. All right, let's get rid of 5. Minus 5. Where else am I subtracting 5? Under the 1. Why am I not going to do it under 7n?
Because they're not like terms.
Yes, they are not like terms. We can't do it. It just won't work. So our 5s are going to cancel. On this side of my equation, I'm left with 3n. Then my equal sign. What's 1 minus 5?
Negative 4.
-4. And what else do I need to bring down?
7 plus 7.
Perfect. Plus 7n. All right. What should I do next?
Subtract the 7 in.
Yes. Why are you subtracting 7n?
Because they're both like terms.
We want to get our n's all on the same side. So to do that, we've got to add or subtract them to get them over to the other side. So my 7n's are going to cancel out. And what is 3n minus 7n?
Negative 4 in.
Oh, -4n is equal to -4. Yes, now we need to divide by -4. All right. We're left with n equals, what is -4 divided by -4? +1. Remember, anytime we take two negatives, it gives us a positive answer. And any number divided by itself gives us 1. It's like if I asked, if I have 4 chocolate bars and 4 friends, how many chocolate bars does each friend get? They each get 1. Awesome. Good job, guys. N equals 1. Any questions about that one? Okay. Now, I know this is probably the trickiest thing that we will see. It is the trickiest thing that we'll see. And I'll tell you what, on your quiz, I'm not even testing you over it really. They're going to be bonus points. That's what I'm doing. So I don't want anybody to get too worried if they're not getting it. If you've got all the rest, you will be in wonderful shape. Okay, let's do one more together, and then I'm going to have you try 1 or 2 by yourself. We'll see if we can do it. Okay, day 19 again. And this is my 4th page. Let's try 5n plus 9 equals 3 plus 8n. Okay. What do you guys think that we should do first? Yeah, sure. Let's get rid of the 9. Why not? -9. And where else am I subtracting 9? Yes. So here's my sides of my equation. And my 2 options are either 3 or 8n. And 3 and -9, those are like terms. So we're going to do it under there. All right, what happens next? Yes, my 9s are going to cancel out. Then what?
3 minus 9.
What's 3 minus 9?
-6.
-6. Perfect. Okay, and then we need to bring everything down. So on the first side of my equation, I just have 5n left. So I'm going to write 5n equals -6, and what else? Plus 8n. Good. Okay, what next?
8.
My 8n, what am I doing with it?
Take away.
Take away, let's do it. Minus 8n. And where else am I doing that? Perfect, minus 8n. Okay, what happens now?
Now you take away. Cross that off.
Yes, my 8n's cancel. And then 5n minus 8n is -3n is equal to -6. All right, we are at the final step. What should we do next?
Divide.
Let's divide.
3 on each side.
Yep, -3 on each side. My -3's will cancel. So I'm left with n equals, and then what is -6 divided by -3?
2.
2. Positive 2.
Positive.
Good job, guys. You're welcome, you're welcome. Very nice. Okay. Do you guys feel like you could do one on your own?
Yes.
Let's try it. Let's try it. I'll leave this up here, and right beside it, well, not right beside it. Let me zoom out a little. I'll put it down here. Let's have you try 10n plus 7 equals 5 plus 13n. All right, I want you to try this one on your own. And I'm gonna write one more. Let's do the other one right here. How about 12n minus 9 equals -1 plus 15n. All right, I'm going to pause this recording and set a little timer, and we'll come back together and check our answers. Okay, let's go ahead and look at number 1. What'd you guys do first?
Subtract 7
Okay, subtract 7
from 7 and the 5.
and the 5. Did everybody do that?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay, so what happens with my 7s?
Cancel.
They cancel. Then what?
5 minus 7.
What's 5 minus 7?
-2.
-2. And what do we need to bring down?
10n.
10n equals -2 plus, good, 13n. All right, what next?
Subtract 13n.
Yes, let's
N,
do that.
N.
Minus 13n, minus 13n. All right, what happens to my 13n's? They cancel. Good. And what is 10n minus 13n?
-3n.
Good. -3n. And all I have left is equals -2. Okay, what's left to do?
You're going to divide -3 on each side.
Divide by -3 on both sides. And I'll tell you what, my problem generator does not understand what a whole number is. Because I tell it, give me whole number answers. Okay, so what's n going to be?
Equals 0.6.
Yes, and is it positive or negative?
Positive.
Positive. Our two negatives will cancel. So your options for your answer are, is if you wanted to leave it in fraction form, you could just have 2 over 3. Or it would be 0.6, or if you rounded up, 0.7. Any of these answers I would be fine with.
Thank you.
Good. Nope, you got it. You got
What's
it.
wrong with you?
Did everybody get that?
Yeah.
Good.
That was the first number, 0.6.
Good. Right. Good job. Okay, let me rip this out so I can move it up. Let's try number 2. All right. Very similar problem here. We have 12 times n minus 9 equals -1 plus 15n. What should we do?
Add 9.
Sure, let's add 9. Yep, so plus 9 here and plus 9 under -1. Everybody get that far?
Yes.
Good. My 9s do what?
Cancel.
They cancel. Now what do I do?
Bring down the 12 in.
I've got.
Oh.
We could do that. Here, I'll go ahead and write it. 12n, and what did we do here? -1 plus 9?
8, positive 8.
Positive 8. Okay, now what do I bring down?
Equal.
Equal.
My equal sign
And plus 15.
plus 15n. Okay, where do I go from here?
Subtract 15 in.
Yep, subtract 15n. We want to combine our like terms.
And
So.
12. Subtract 15.
Good. All right, what happens to my 15n's?
Cancel.
They cancel. And what am I left with down below?
12 subtract 15
Yeah, what's 12 minus 15? Good. Negative 3n equals 8. All right, what's our last step?
in. Divide 3 in. Negative 3 in.
Divide by -3 on both sides. And what next?
In. Oh, cancel out. Cancel your 3.
Yep, cancel those -3's.
And then divide 8. 8 divided by -3.
Yes. Is that going to give me a positive number or a negative number? Don't look at my answer. I didn't type my negative in. So whenever I have two numbers with different signs, I've got a positive and a negative. Am I going to get a positive or a negative answer?
Positive 2.6.
Ooh.
I mean a negative 2.6.
Negative. Negative, guys. If my numbers have different signs, they can't cancel. It's going to be negative. So 8 divided by -3 is going to give us -2.6, repeating on forever. Or you could have rounded it to -2.7. Or you could have left it as a fraction and just said -8 over 3. Any of those would be right. Any of those would be right. Okay. Did we all get that one?
No.
What'd you get, Jenny?
That one.
Or did you not finish it?
No, I finished it, but I didn't get that.
Talk me through it. I want to hear what you did.
The 12 in,
Mm-hmm.
that one right there, I got that one wrong.
Oh, so did you do 12n minus 15n and your answer was different here?
Yeah.
What'd you get as your answer?
You know.
I do want to know. What is it?
This is all changed.
That's okay. What'd you
I don't know
get?
what I did.
Did you get 27 in?
I didn't even get that.
What'd you get?
It's embarrassing.
Tell me, girl.
It's okay.
I don't know where I did.
We're not judging.
I don't even know what I did. I think I hit my fingers wrong on this dang thing.
I don't know.
got -0.8.
Negative 0.8.
Don't ask me where I got
I
that
bet you I know what you did. I bet you did 12 divided by 15. There it is.
Yeah.
Yep.
0.8. I know, it's funny because on our calculator, the division symbol and the subtraction symbol, they're actually pretty easy to get them mixed up because the only difference is those two dots. Division really looks like subtraction just with dots around
Well,
it.
that minus did it. That -15. The negative sign what threw me off.
Okay.
That's using my brain. That's okay. That's good for like what's that word? What's the word?
Cognitive
Yeah,
function. Yeah, and you know what? I actually love it when we make mistakes in class, because when you make a mistake and then you see what you did wrong, that is such a better way to learn than to just try to memorize it from the get-go. Trying it, messing up, and seeing why it's wrong so that you can understand how to do it correctly, I think that's the best way to learn. So you're doing great.
Okay, now, and then go to down there to the 8 over the -3. How did you do that on the calculator?
Okay, let's do that. So I did 8, here, let me move that so we can see my problem. I did 8 divided by, and then I hit my negative sign, -3. Enter. And I got -2.6 repeating. Awesome. Okay, any more questions about that? We feel okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I just did it in my head, yeah.
All right, I'm going to give you your exit ticket, guys. That's it today. Monday, we'll do our practice quiz, and Tuesday, we'll have our quiz. You guys are going to do amazing. I already know it. You're doing so wonderful. And remember, the questions like these, they're bonus points on the quiz. So if you get them wrong, they're not going to hurt you. But if you get them right, they will certainly help you. Let's do, yeah, we're done, girl. Day 19, exit ticket.
I say no.
I know it. Y'all can just stay for Algebra 1. We're learning some crazy stuff in there right now. All right, so for today, I would like for you to solve. It's about to be the weekend. I'm just going to give you one again today. Let's do 4n minus 6 equals -2 plus 6n. Okay, just that one problem, and that's it for today, guys. When you are finished, you may go, and I hope y'all have a wonderful weekend. I'm going to end this recording. Yeah, thank you.